George, how are you?
Not too bad, thanks. Hope you're well.
Good.
Obviously, disappointing result last time
Yep.
out. When you've kind of reviewed it this week, was there any things you saw that you could take as positives, and what was sort of the most disappointing aspect, I guess, of the performance?
Yeah, there's definitely positives from it. I thought in spells we were good with the ball, and maybe people will agree or disagree with that, but it's more how we're trying to look and the players' behaviours and attitudes of doing the right things. And I think there was spells of that. The part that probably let us down was final third in terms of last action, last movement to go behind the line. We had some big chances in that game, and maybe we should have took some of them. And then the game changes, but we didn't. But overall, I didn't think, if you're looking at the course of the game and the standards we set ourselves, we were nowhere near where we needed to be in terms of with the ball in the attacking third. But defensively, we were 2 or 3 yards off everything. And yeah, as I said, that result lies with me, and it's my job to make sure the players are motivated, they're organised, and they're aware of what we need to do. And as I said, the beauty of football, you have an opportunity again to do it the weekend.
And I guess bigger picture, 5th in the table, 3 points of Arsenal. Obviously, everyone would have taken this position going into February. But as you say, how important is it to kind of put this behind you as a blip and get back on another good winning run?
Yeah, you have to. There's no game in this league, George, that is one that you can walk into thinking you're going to win. Every league game is now competitive, and you've seen that with some of the upsets that have happened in previous weeks. There's teams taking points off one another that maybe people don't expect, if you want to say. But we're in a good place. As I said, we're 5th in the league, 23 points. We have 9 games still to go to grow and definitely still add to the tally we have. And I think what the players have given me up to now and given this club up to now is something to be proud of. They give us something to talk about, which is, I think that's why people are maybe frustrated that we didn't win the game, and maybe there's an expectation of us to win the game, and now we're being spoken about in that kind of conversation. I think it speaks volumes of what the players have done.
And you're in the middle of a really busy period, I guess. The games come thick and fast. It felt a little bit disjointed, sort of December, November time. How much are you sort of enjoying this challenge of, there being no breaks for now and, it's straight back on it? Yeah,
no, it's good to have a run of games where you play consistently week in, week out, and you have your full week to prepare. You have players where you can give them a bit of downtime, a bit of rest, but you can also push through this part of the schedule. And then you have obviously the international break that comes up at the end of February. So I think when you've got games coming thick and fast, there's always an objective and an outcome down in front of you. And we need to make sure that now West Ham is the next one, and it's definitely got that derby kind of edge to it. And we want to make sure that we go out and perform. We show a better side than what we showed in spells against Liverpool. But we know we have to raise our levels physically. I'm definitely in that defensive part of the game if we want to be better. Thank you.
Okay, we'll move to questions on the online feed, starting with Chris Cowlin.
Oh, big one up first.
Hi Martin, hope you're well. Any team news?
Yeah, we're the same as we was last week, Chris. Everyone who were named last week, apart from Charlie Grant's now back on the grass running, making good progress, so she's not too far away. Ella Morris is very close now to being back in full team training. So yeah, we're in a good place. Apart from those two and Luana, Maita and Jess, who are making really good progress. Jess has actually made a lot of progress with her rehabilitation with the ACL, and Maita's doing the same. So apart from that, everyone else is available and in contention.
Martin, what sort of game are you expecting on Sunday? Because of course West Ham in the last couple of games picked up 2 wins, including a very good win against Leicester last weekend. Yeah,
tough game, Chris. Maybe these games have a bit more edge, and I definitely felt that in the first league game we played this year against them. It's got that derby feel to it. 2 teams who want to defend on the front foot, 2 teams who want to have the ball and want to be exciting, want to be direct with the play and very forward thinking. And I've seen that. Obviously, we've seen their games previously now under the new coach, and I think she's given them definitely a lot more organisation and stability. They're very well drilled. You can see that. And Rita was very known for that when she was in Italy. So we know it's going to be a tough game, and we have to go there with the intention to win the game as we always do. But we need to find ways to break down a really organised and resilient block.
With the game last week, of course, Liverpool sitting bottom of the table, West Ham second or bottom. Is there now an expectation, would you say, from the fans that you have to win these games because of what you've done and the great start you've had as manager of Spurs?
Yeah, we have to win every game, and that's not just West Ham and these games around. We have to win every game, and you know well enough, because I won't go into any game not wanting to win and not putting a team out to win. We go in to win the games. You also have to respect the opposition at the same time. You can't think you're invincible in what you do. And when you go away from home, it also adds a different kind of spice to the game. We also know we might have to suffer at times with the ball. So yeah, there's not just this expectation on this game and these games, runner games now. We have to win every game we want to do going forward. And I'm really happy where we're at now. If someone would have put me in that position, as George said before, we'd have taken that. And we want to just make sure we can continue to build what we want to do now moving forward. We have to take the right steps in the right moments. And West Ham's one in the way of us now, and we have to make sure we go into that going to win the game.
Lastly from me, of course, the final days of the transfer window. Can we expect a busy few days in terms of incomings and outgoings?
We'll keep your social media busy if we do, Chris. But no, we're always in the markets, and we're still looking now in certain positions. And as I've said, I don't want to just bring someone to the club just to fill a gap. I don't want to bring someone to the club just for the sake of doing it in a transfer market. It's got to be someone who's going to be give us longevity, give us a different profile, and more importantly, someone who's going to add value to this team. And if we can't find that, then I won't bring them in. I'd rather wait till the next window. Cheers, Chris. Thank you.
Thanks. Tom, Gary?
Hi, Mike. Just on that, how much of a, I suppose, difficulty is the last few days in a window like this, you know, when you're looking for value and longer term things, but maybe I'm just wondering how you find the January window maybe compared to the summer.
Yeah, it's a little bit more difficult. Your time frame's a lot smaller to obviously bring someone in, but on the other side of things, you're probably competing with more teams in this window, Tom, for a smaller group of players, and it then makes it difficult because then it becomes more of like a bargaining tool for the selling club, and maybe the price becomes a little bit high, and but also the profile's got to be right. I don't want to move in this window for the sake of doing it, as I said. If I feel that there's going to be better business in the summer, that's going to benefit this team and be part of that trajectory of us going forward, then I'll wait till the summer. And I have a lot of belief in this group and a lot of belief in this team. We have a lot of quality in it, and we need to trust that too.
How have you found those conversations over the course of this winter relative to where Spurs are in the table? You know, has it been helpful to say, look at us, we're in the top half, we're on a good run of form, you know, over the course? Has that helped in any way? Yeah,
it does help. I think if you're winning games and you're competing near the top of the table, obviously it interests more players, it makes you more attractive to the players, not just players but agents. We know that can become a part of obviously a deal also. So you want to make sure that you're competing, and every player that wants to come into the club will want to be competing for all the honours, will be want to compete at the top of the table. And yeah, our results and performances definitely warranted that. And maybe with some of the players we've brought in now, that's played that part also. But you need to make sure at the same time that, as I said, we don't do any business that we don't think is necessary now, and we don't rush anything.
Thanks, mine. All the best for the weekend.
Cheers, Tom. Take care.
Go to Claire.
Hi, Martin.
Hi, Claire. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Yeah, it's good. Thank you.
Top level sports are sort of game of fine margins. The beauty of our magazine is we get to talk to people in different sports, and one of the sports we've been speaking to recently is women's rugby, and one of their top teams is Loughborough Lightning. They sometimes train against the men's university team to help them speed up their sort of reactions and mentally and physically. I wondered what you thought about that and whether there's a place for it in football.
No, definitely, and it's something I'd done when I was in Norway, Claire. We played against our senior team. We played numerous times throughout the season against the under-15s and under-16s boys. A game for speed of play, speed of reaction, the intensity to lift our games, and we've done that going into Champions League games. We use it as an opportunity to play against players, obviously, who have a lot more kind of maybe agility, mobility, speed, but also their smartness with the game. And that helped us going into maybe the mid to latter stages of the Champions League run we had. And we continued that in my last year in Brann now, at the start of 25, where we played again against the 15s and 16s boys. And I think it was a really good practice for us in terms of, and for best practice of us being able to be challenged at a higher level compared to maybe what we'd always face in the league, apart from the real top teams. So yeah, we used it as good practice, and I think there's a space for it definitely. Whether we would do it right now while I'm here, we'd have to look at what would what would work for us here against maybe the boys at the boys academy. I have a good relationship with Simon Davis here, the boys academy director, and I want to make sure that if those opportunities, we want to look at them and kind of explore them, that they're there, and I'm sure they would be. But I'm not against that at all. I think it's actually got a lot of value.
Thank you. Thanks for your answer. Best of luck for the weekend.
Thank you, Claire.
That's Claire. We'll go to Roos.
Hi Martin, hope you're well.
Good, how are you?
Thanks, good. So last weekend you said you're not a Champions League team yet. What do you think Spurs need in order to become that?
You need consistency, you need very clear foundations and platform, you need experiences, Ruth. You also need to elevate the squad, enhance the squad, build the squad, and you need different variations of that. You need to understand adversity, you need to understand playing with the ball, playing without the ball. You need so many diverse experiences to be in the Champions League, and what definitely gets you there is a consistency and a persistence with your performances. And we don't want to be a team that just gets there and then falls out, and gets there and then falls out. You want to be a team that, like the ones who are up there now with Arsenal, Chelsea, Man City and Man United have started to come into that. You want to be a team that's consistently in and around that, and you need to build the foundations on and off the pitch to make sure that you can continually do that. And we've got a lot of work to do. We're 4 or 5 months in. We've just come from maybe finishing down the bottom of the table. We're now changing the identity and really embarking on a really nice project and chapter in Spurs women's future. And it's going to take time for us to build that team that's going to be a winning team with a winning mentality, who can compete on all fronts in all competitions. And that takes time. That doesn't just happen by flipping a squad of players over and staff and making it work. It takes a lot of time, and there's a lot of work that goes on and off the pitch, and I believe we're taking the right steps to do that now, both on and off the pitch.
Right, and confidence is quite a big thing in the stuff you've been doing with the team. How do you make sure like a result like last weekend doesn't dent that confidence?
Yeah, you have to take it in isolation, and we said this to the group. But what's really good with the players, they're very honest, and they know when they've been all in, and they maybe know when they've been half in, and we would look at it back as a team performance and say we were only half in, if we're honest. What that was, that you can put that down to so many different aspects, pre-game, post-game, during game. But actually what we need to do, we reflected quickly, we parked the game and left it. We focused on what we need to do going into West Ham now, and there's been a different energy and a different buzz about the group. The work ethic on the pitch has been outstanding, and we just need to refine some of the smaller details that in previous games have been there. And in that game they weren't there, and we need to make sure that they are there for this weekend against West Ham.
All right, good luck on the weekend.
Cheers, Reece, thank you.
Thanks, Roos. We'll go back to Charlotte. We'll just try with video off to see if the connection's any better.
You can hear me now.
Yes.
I joined best.
I haven't got that, Charlotte.
Sorry,
still
Charlotte.
breaking up.
Okay, sorry, Charlotte. I'll read your question out in the room because I've got it here on text. So, Martin, Charlotte's asking, she joined Beth England at a Tottenham Hotspur Foundation event this week. How important is she as a leader in the squad, especially with the new players coming in?
Yeah, really important, Charlotte, in terms of her leadership qualities and her impact on the team, her impressions on the team. She's been remarkable in terms of how she brings the group together, the way she leads the group, and how she keeps a really clear balance between challenging the group but bringing them a lot of positivity and a lot of support. And you can see by the initiatives in the programme she goes to, speaks volumes about Beth as an individual. And we need more players to step up in those moments to produce those moments of leadership and management around her team. And she's been vital in terms of what we do. And very impactful in terms of with her leadership, and we want to make sure that other players around her take those responsibilities too, because I want the group to not just rely on Beth for her leadership. I want the group to rely on themselves and each other, and by doing that you have to create a leadership group around the whole team that enables the team to flourish.
Okay, and we'll leave it there. Thank you very much, everybody.